Good. That was a good one.
Fatty has low IQ, like low IQ. Low IQ, you can't listen. My chat has never been this low IQ ever. They have low IQ, and I'm going to continue to the dynamics. They got low IQ, but listen, no filter. Courtney, you have low IQ, and you're most likely a Kamala Harris voter. Low IQ people understand low IQ, because you are inadequate low IQ individual.
All of these guys will run these podcasts, and people think.
Hey guys, welcome to DarkArts podcast. Quick video. Listen, I want to tell you something. The title in itself is manipulation. And I did it on purpose because I wanted you to see what manipulation looks like. What I did is I put in the title, I said, Cooley grifted black men because they are stupid. How do you feel? Right? Rage baiting. Yeah, because that's what I'm doing, right? I'm manipulating the audience immediately to try and get your emotions in a stir. So I put a title that would instantly get your imagination going, probably get you angry, probably get you vexed, wanting to click on a video, find out what the heck I'm saying. Right? Manipulation is all around you. We all do it. Good, bad, ugly, nasty, dark, bright. We all manipulate, right? Including myself. So nobody's free from manipulation. But what I'm going to expose here is about what Cooley does, because what Cooley does has been done several times before him and in the last few years. And we've seen a pattern repeat itself in his work. Now, he just got exposed because of the fact that he was, living a double life, talking about how he had, he was stringing on single mothers and how men shouldn't date them basically, and should leave them alone because they're not for top tier men. And yet he describes himself as a top tier man, and he's dating a single mother with 2 fathers of kids before him. Okay, anyway, listen, so I wanted to break this down all the way through, right, and break down the manipulation of what actually happening, right? Because what Cooley does is actually focus on the pain points. But I'm going to talk a little bit more. Before we get any deeper, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. If you're not too angry, continue the video. Maybe that's a bit of a manipulation too. You know what I'm saying to you? If I tell you to do the opposite, which is reverse psychology of what you actually want to do. Yeah, if you're smart, you know what I'm saying to you, you'll stay on the video. But if you're dumb, you'll leave it. I'm showing you what manipulation really looks like. It's as simple as that. But let's get into the video. Let's waste much time. Okay.
You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All right, so let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes, right? He had a conversation, which I want to show you this as well. This conversation had a young man, and we'll listen to a little bit of it, and then I'll break down some more manipulation.
What I'm saying is,
find that from a woman that didn't have
for sure, for sure, it's many options, bro. Like more options than you can even imagine. Many options. So what I'm telling you is, it's not always about that. When you have a kid, you have to be selfless, not selfish. So what I'm saying is, from a man standpoint, and on these podcasts in the red pill space, we always speak about mitigating risk. Well, if you're talking to this girl, you have to mitigate risk and watch out for all the red flags and this girl and that girl and that girl. She has tattoos, if she comes from a single mother household, if she's dancing on a stripper pole, if she got all of these exes, you know what I'm saying. So we always have to mitigate risk. Got it. What I'm letting you know is that the woman that I chose just happens to be an exception to the rule. She didn't fit into those categories that we would all deem, right?
Now, let's pause it first and foremost straight here. Number one, he said, obviously, what he did there, if you don't know about the manipulation that existed here, he did what we call moral superiority, right? He positioned himself, so actually an art of war. When you do an art of war, you make it a holy war, right? But in a sense, he's used it in another way, which is he's put himself as an authority figure in a space where my ideology is pure, and what I do, I'm of a moral standing, right? I know the rules, but I am an exception to that because I am above the law. My moral superiority compared to you guys is much more different to you, right? He's going to put a delineation between yourself and him. This is a form of manipulation, right? To make it plausible for why he decided to break the rules to date that particular girl. Now, can I be honest with you? All of us are subject to breaking rules that we've made, right? 1 time in your life, 2 times in your life, 3 times in life. You've set a rule before, and most people that date somebody or marry somebody, probably more likely they broke one of your rules, right? You said, I'm never going to do this, or I won't ever do this. And then the person who actually is good for you breaks a particular rule of yours. Why? Because a lot of times our rules may be good, but a lot of times they're not God. What I mean by that is a God idea is better than a good idea. A good idea is based on our understanding as human beings. A God idea is I can see foresight well into your future, and this is what you actually need. Now, he makes it very clear that the reason why he's going to choose a single baby mother, which he advocates for men to avoid, since single mothers make bad choices, he's going to explain how his single mother at 25, which, by the way, he makes as an excuse as to why he chose a single mother, because he wants to make it a moral high ground. Again, I have to think about the kids. Sure. Stop lying to us, bro. Stop lying to us, bro. It's about the kids. It's not about the kids. It's about the fact that you made a choice, and for you, you are not as high value as you think you actually are. You are grifting, which is you are illegally selling. You are illicitly selling something that you have no intention of backing up, proving, and you are selling to an audience knowing their pain points. Okay, if you don't want to know what pain points means, pain point just means a persistent or reoccurring problem. Okay, so he's trying to obtain an audience through positioning himself as an authority figure, which Kevin Samuels did, which Just Pearly did, Rollo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. They all do the exact same thing by positioning himself as an authority figure, including myself. I do it too. It is a part of the work that we do, right? To make yourself an authority figure in the work that you actually do. Now, it's what you do with that position that makes a difference. Okay, but let's listen a bit more.
And not only that, she played her position, played it well for many years, and then she got to the finish line. You get what I'm saying?
She got
promoted. So that's what it is. So with that being said,
Cooley, I'm a player, my nigga. I just got questions, my shit.
Yeah. You know, we ain't got to talk the whole play.
How she play it well when she had 2 baby fathers? How she play it well? Right now, he can say, obviously, when I was 25, I wasn't who I was now. Yeah, but brother, when you tell the story and when you tell other men, that's how you should tell it. You should add what we call nuance, which is add color to a situation. Is what my biggest issue is with Red Pill movement, and a lot of them, the men that do this, and the pink pill, and whatever you want to call it, the women's side of things as well, is they don't add nuance. So they tell the story, they add statistics, but they don't add the nuance, as in what other things, factors play into why a decision is made or why certain people take certain decisions. But he's now telling us, oh, she played her role right. She's an exception to the rule. By the way, I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to the rule, but it's the venom that he speaks to about single mothers. Now, I can tell you something. For instance, let's say a rule will be never date someone who you stole. Right? Yeah, that's a rule, right? I think we can all agree you shouldn't really date somebody who you stole, because more than likely how you get them is how you lose them, right? Now, there may be an exception to the rule, but the way you speak about that thing, right, is how people are going to get on your neck. Do you know what I'm saying to you? That's just it.
Terrorism talk, live, because the nigga got kids and all of that. So we got to be respectful.
I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to take 30 seconds to just ask you one more question. 30
Go ahead,
seconds
brother.
and I'm going. Listen, bro.
Please be direct, man.
I got to give context, though, because the other night I was watching your live.
Now, you see how he said, I got to get context. He said, be direct. But he said, listen, let me get context, because the reality situation is you can't always give a viewpoint based on being direct without there being contextual information that adds to help you make an informed decision. But you see, when you are a grifter, you need it to be black and white. It's a part of the grift. If I make it black and white and make it rules, make it very, very simple, it means people can choose sides very easily. See, when there's no gray, it means people can go left or right. And what that does is it creates factions very, very easily. It's a bit like Romeo and Juliet, right? Capulets and whatever the other name side of things, right? 2 distinct houses. What happens, though, if they hate each other? Fine. But what happens when Romeo and Juliet get together? Now we've got an issue. Why? Because there's gray involved. Now I can't just hate you, because now your kids and your grandkids, whatever, could carry both our blood. So the situation is not so simple. That's why context is important.
And the guy asked you, he said, why haven't you married the girl yet, bro? Why haven't you married her? And you told him specifically verbatim, I use reason and logic.
Yes, sir.
Everything ain't for this. Now, my only thing as a black man, you said the law, not as a black man, but as a married man, the law isn't set up in your favor. It incentivizes the woman to leave her husband. That's what you said. Okay. Now, the law is not set up in the favor of a black father either. So why choose to knock her up instead of choose to get her pregnant? The law ain't set up in either favor. So I'll choose not to marry you because the law isn't set up in my favor. It incentivizes you to leave. But if I get you pregnant, the law also incentivizes you that you can leave and get it never.
No, that's wrong. The comparison of what you're doing, it isn't an equal comparison, because there's difference, right? For alimony, that's something much different, and child support, that's something much different. Okay. And guess what?
Well, he actually never mentioned anything about child support and alimony. What he was saying was the law doesn't benefit you in that space. And he's actually right. As Cooley has let us know that only 18% of fathers have full custody of their children. Bro, so the law is not set up for you, right? Or at least if we were to add more context to that, how many men actually fight for their full custody of their kids, right? So that's what we mean by adding context. But if we were to go black and white, then let's go black and white as he would want, direct, which is the law is not in favor of black men when it comes to their kids. So in that space, I understand what the brother's saying, but Cooley's going to move the bar. He's going to move the goalpost.
Well, when you're married, you get both of those. The party can get both. So what you're saying right now is nonsensical. That doesn't, you're trying to compare something that's equal and say, well, why haven't you just did this because
why
of this, and this is equal.
Before the child?
Yeah, what I'm telling you is that, yeah, what I'm telling, I got you. Let me answer your question, Jay. I got you. Yep, got you. So what I'm telling you is that marriage in America doesn't benefit a man. It just doesn't. All the statistics and the stats show it. Wrong, bro. That's wrong. What you talking about? A child? Listen,
being
man.
a father, the law does not work in your favor. You just said that you're only 18% having custody.
Time out. You just said that. No. Time out.
No, I mean, listen. If you're just gonna procreate, yeah, just bearing children, especially with single mothers who you haven't really, it can be a little bit techie, stretchy. I'm gonna leave you that point there, right? I want to go to another video and bring you guys in because I think, like I said, it's important to get different points of view. And I love what Abba Preach Break
so they're seeing someone through a screen, they got some money, whatever it is. All these guys they're all taken from the same argument book. And this guy, what he said, I've heard Just Curly Things say, I've heard Fresh and Fit say, I've heard Rolo Tomasi say, I've seen it in message boards. None of these guys are coming up with original ideas. So when you're seeing them and you're like, oh, these guys are actually smart, recognize that they've just plagiarized all these ideas. They're passing them off as their own talking points, and then they're using them to look down on you. A dummy can fucking do copy paste. A dummy. There's a lot of dummies in the space who make millions of dollars.
Would you say they're low IQs? They're low IQ.
You do the math. No, it's just, I'm not saying they low IQ.
You do
the math. Now, I never said anybody was low. I never said that.
But
if they say manipulate, they think seeing a barber's feminine.
Do the math. You do
the math. Now, back to manipulating y'all.
It's funny that. Hold on now. My phone done gone off.
That people are not that stupid and they can see it. Go ahead.
One comment he made that was always very tongue to me. He said,
character, because single mothers normally don't have good character, generally speaking, because they chose the wrong man, meaning that they normally broke up their relationship. They initiated the breakup. So they show single moms show the worst characteristic traits, to be honest. I'll explain why. Because if they had good characteristic traits, they would be with the baby father.
So does your girl got bad character?
I'm the exception.
But she done chose to be father, and that's exactly what we're talking about. See, so when he says that and doesn't add nuance and context to a conversation, this is exactly what happens. You get pigeonholed into a square that you don't want to be in, and then it becomes manipulation because you've swayed the masses using your influencer platform, right, to sway the masses in the wrong way. And you've used the pain points, and here's the pain points really quickly, right? The pain points of this, first and foremost, has to target a particular audience. Who's the audience? Men. And there's the reason why I said that our black men stupid, because actually it's happened to us more than once, right? Just Pearl done it. Kevin Samuels did it. Like, we had a few other people around the Fresh and Fit are doing it. And they're doing it because, yes, they want to give a voice to the people, but they're also doing it because they're grifting. A lot of them do not even know they do not have these points built in. They've read books or whatever, and they've taken on these people's ideologies, but they can't live it. Okay? And so a lot of them have more gray than they actually are black and white. Now, here's the thing, right? The game plan that we've seen with Cooley is the same as it's always been, right? Gather young women and women who don't have wits about them, okay? Position yourself as an authority on the topic, exploit the authority by cascading or shaming or, calling out these women who, who are very, very young. I mean, he's got videos with college girls. What the hell are we doing with college girls at your big ass age, trying to expose how the women think? And it's like, this promotes a particular ideology where we are saying that women, almost in a sense, are always the enemy target. That's what creates the enemy camp. So what ends up happening is, almost from a cult-like standard, is that we create an enemy and say they're the enemy, we are the heroes. We need to educate those women, just like what people did in past life when it comes to how they overtook certain cultures, like going to Africa and taking slaves. You're not good enough to be able to govern your own people. We know better. Let's take you back to our country, enslave you, and will improve you. You're only as good as you've been a slave. And actually, the same kind of mindset, in a sense, cult-like mindset, where you believe you're better than the other party, right? And so why this works is because the audience oftentimes are not thinkers. They are followers. Men tend to easily fall into following and having very few leaders. Is that we work with what we call hierarchy. And so it's very easy for men also to fall prey to this. And of course, women have their own situation, but we fall easily into this because if we're not thinking, you're going to be duped, right? It's a poor self-esteem for the audience. So when he said they're low IQ, he ain't lying. That's how he feels. And he knows that because that's how he's manipulated them. Right? That's how he's manipulated them. He knows they're lower IQ compared to him. At least he thinks he's smarter than them. And so that's why he's done what he's done. Okay. The audience needs somebody to root for. Okay. Right. They need somebody to take on their pain points. They need to be seen and heard, and they need to feel connected to the person who's willing to do the hard work to go forward and promote their particular ideology. Is that not how a particular president right now in America is now the lead? Pain points, the manipulation. Okay, the manipulation kicks in when you hit the pain points of disenfranchised men with hurt and jaded perspectives. Who are those men? Divorced, can't get a woman, been cheated on, single, right? Divorced, can't get a woman, been cheated on, right? Single. These men are oftentimes the ones who are targeted, especially young, to develop this animosity which they already contain within themselves. And so these people who end up preaching further more hatred, or in a sense of preaching more influence of disliking the opposite gender and calling out how wicked and mean and nasty they are. Now, do I believe there are nasty women out there? Absolutely. Do I believe there are nasty men out there? Absolutely. But do you know what we tell women? We tell women they got to choose better. Well, then if you're a man and you're in a situation, you got to choose better. So this, you know what I'm saying to you? It's one-sided oftentimes, right? So there's a lot of different techniques that he might use within these videos. One of them is called a digital fire starter level. He's a guy who writes angry. This example that he gave is a guy who writes angry posts on Facebook, always in absolute black and white terms. The man that writes things in black and white without no gray, without no color. I used to be one of those people too. It is or it isn't. You know what I'm saying, Chu? But I was always willing to shift if the idea was correct. But a lot of times in these red pill space with these men, they're grifting. They're not here to learn. They're not here to grow. They're not here to really teach. They're here really to teach you how to get them more money. A bit like when you see those videos where they say, come and join my Forex trading group. That their money is coming from you. It's not coming from the trading. It's coming from your ways. And a lot of times they do fear mongering where, you know, they'll tell you, listen, they use that manipulation tool to influence others by installing fear and saying, you know, you'll die alone, or, you know, they say like, you know, things like, you know, dating a single mother will end your life, and dating a single mother is the worst thing you can do. If you're not a top tier man, they're going to shame you and humiliate you. A top tier man wouldn't choose what, but then he ends up doing the exact same thing that he just shamed you for. He's letting you know that you are lower IQ. So when men stay with Cooley, knowing that he said these things, it does show us exactly what he said. He said they're low IQ. You should believe him. Yeah. He's talking to you. As for me, you know what I'm saying to you? When I see a grifter, I see a grifter. But I'm just saying to you, listen, he's talking to you because he's telling you that you low IQ. The question is, are you really low IQ? If you're going to continue following Cooley and accept the fact that he can say whatever he wants to say and you're not questioning it, maybe you're low IQ. But I don't believe that you're low IQ. You know what I'm saying to you? But you do need to start thinking. If you don't, you could be the next person that's on the list to be manipulated by Cooley and many others like him, just like Josh Pearl did as well. They're grifting. They know where the money is. Okay, they expose pain points. But make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys a lot. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know.